Michael, day 3 of Ignite. You having a good time so far?
I'm exhausted, but this is awesome stuff still. So,
Well, we have had a great story that we've been telling all week where we've talked about Azure Arc and Azure Local and how infrastructure can be expanded via our adaptive cloud portfolio and being able to manage all of that from cloud. We've talked about the solutions, what the available options are. We've talked about scale management, deployment, monitoring, all kinds of great stuff. And one of the things I'm really excited about with our day 3 demos is talking about the types of workloads we're seeing customers run on top of solutions. Like, why do you need to run things at the edge? And I'd love to spend a little bit of time with you because I know you've been doing some testing and validation on Video Indexer so that hopefully we can showcase a little bit more about what customers are trying to accomplish with all of these investments at the edge.
yeah, absolutely. So this is actually one of my more fun things that I've done lately is taking a workload and running it on Azure Local and making it do something really productive at the edge. And so here, we're starting with an Azure Local instance, this mobile cluster, and then we've deployed an AKS cluster on top of it. Now, this is an AKS cluster running the latest version. We deployed that using CLI, but could have easily been done through Bicep or Terraform. In
Yeah.
this case, we've deployed two node pools. We've deployed a node pool that is an NC8A2, and that's a GPU-connected node pool. So that means that the underlying worker nodes, or the VMs for Kubernetes, are actually connected to a physical NVIDIA A2 GPU running on this cluster. And then we have a CPU node pool, and this is just a very CPU and memory allocated worker VM that's allocated to this. So then underlying to this is we've set taints for this. So now when we deploy the containers, we'll understand that there are taints or preferences for a GPU versus a CPU node pool. And that's kind of important to see. Now, underneath what we've done is we've applied extensions. And for Video Indexer, there are several extensions that are needed. There are extensions that are around IoT operations, and this is for certificate management. And
Mm-hmm.
then we're also, because we need a persistent layer of storage, because we can record the underlying video, we've deployed the Container Storage Accelerator or the Azure Connected Storage Accelerator extension. After we've implemented that, we've implemented MetalLB for an ingress endpoint into this, and then we've deployed the Video Indexer extension itself. And that extension is the exact same extension that we're using on Azure Video Indexer. So it's the same kind of collaboration with that. It's the same tool. And now it means I get to use the same agents and the same models that I would use with Video Indexer running in the Azure data centers, but now I'm running this at the edge. So diving down deeper into this, we can now go into the actual experience. And here I am in the Arc Video, or the Azure Video Indexer portal. And so this is the web portal that is open to by Microsoft and available. And as I've done this, you can see that I have a choice between my cloud and my exact Arc extensions that I have out here. And as we're looking at this, you can see that we're bringing in live video, and this is now analyzing this live frame from an RTSP camera stream. Or I have a camera that is OnViv compatible or open source OnViv compatible, and you can see that it is analyzing the frame piece by piece and looking for different things. So in this case, you're seeing a box that's formed around the position of the door lock, or a box that's looking at this red or this yellow and black stripe to look if somebody enters that area, or if those doors on those electrical panels are open. This is all being analyzed in real time, and then it's being stored in recordings that can then be further analyzed. And so these recordings are being maintained into that persistent storage. Then if insights are found, I can use OpenAI to analyze those recordings. But how did I get to define what those things are? That's actually a master of the actual management. So we can go into the managing the AI insights into this. And this is where I can use contextual models to build out what I need to do. So you can see here I have AI insights like locker or door or some VI object detection that are built in. Then I can build in my own custom insights. So if we wanted to look for, I don't know, a badge, right? We could build in an AI insight and we can look for words that describe that. And so we could say badge, And we'll even fine tune this by saying that we want a person. So this is basically telling the model that I want to look for a person that has a badge on it. So we can create this insight, then assign this to our preset, and then our camera can start to analyze this. After that, it's just a matter of configuring APIs with Video Indexer to go and do actionable items off of this.
So this is some pretty cool stuff, and I know that we're really just digging into the details of it here. But what do you think the feedback has been so far from testing and validation of this? Because I know we do have several customers that you've worked with as well that are trying this stuff out. Do you get the idea that folks are excited about being able to use this kind of tool to run it? Have you heard any specific use cases?
Yeah, so we're starting to see customers analyze their data and try to do things that like third-party companies are doing. So you can imagine like a retail space, like here's a convenience store market version where this is a recorded video, but we can actually analyze this and start to break down the frames and set alerts off of these. So you can use it in retail, in industrial, many different models that can happen and interact with these things. So the possibilities are endless, and this is just giving you one more tool to use at the edge. And so I think the takeaway here is Azure Local is a platform that allows me to manage cloud resources, but now I'm bringing things that I only thought about in the cloud, like video analysis with AI at the edge, and I'm bringing it down literally to the edge and using off-the-shelf cameras to do this work for me. So
But
pretty
Michael,
cool
thanks
stuff.
for showing this to us today because this is a great way to wrap up our week of demos and just tying it all together to show the types of things that folks are doing with the investments they're making at the edge. So I definitely appreciate the walkthrough of all this. Hope customers will find this really interesting.